Good afternoon. I have returned from that field trip. I don't know how teachers do it, man. I don't know. Teachers might be the real saints in our world. All right. Oh, dang, network bib. You're still here? Shoot. It's got to be late where you are, right? You need to be going to bed. Nice flex, network bib. Nice flex. You think Nikki died? I don't know. I think Nikki might have been a little shady. He hasn't been in any of my streams since all that crap happened in Discord. So I think maybe there was some shadiness maybe going on there. I mean, I hate to judge, you know, but it seems super sketchy. He was there in every one of my streams for like almost, I don't know, it felt like at least 3 weeks straight. And it's literally, I haven't seen hide nor hair of him since he started sending people scammy stuff. So I definitely think we probably made the right call by banning him from the Discord. What are you going to do, though, right? What are you going to do? It's the internet. The internet's a weird place. Alright. Well, today we get to do something fun. I think it's going to be fun. Let's see. Let's do npm run test. Oh, God. I broke one of the tests. Let's see. App1 not found. So we received this. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I can fix that real quick. Unable to get fields. Is that what it was? One. Oh yeah, because there's 0 tests. Okay, cool. So we need to go to the filter spec, and we need to import some shit. Let's see, tools. Spec. Network bib. I added a maybe he's hacked. He could be hacked. I mean it's totally possible he could have gotten hacked, but I think it's kind of weird that he's been. I mean, if he was hacked on Discord, that doesn't necessarily mean he'd be hacked on YouTube. So it's kind of weird that like he hasn't shown his face in the stream since that all went down. I did add network pip. I did add a channel for memes in Discord, and I'll add one. You want one for projects too? I added one for projects. There you go. So there's now a channel for projects, and there's a channel for memes. I kind of feel like we should delete this channel. Let's see. At everyone, we should delete this channel. Yeah, I added them. Never bib. You're all taken care of. Cool. Let's see. If no one objects, I'll delete it this weekend. I want to delete the Nutlang dev channel. That's what I want to delete. Alright. Let's lock in here a little bit. My family will be home in like an hour, maybe less than an hour. So we'll see how long. I was planning to stream to like 5 o'clock. I was hoping to get like a couple hours in, but then I got back from the field trip so late that didn't work out so much. Good for you, Network Bib. I'm gonna turn the ISO down on my camera because it's kind of bright in here. Alright, I'm back. Here we go. The F is a field trip. A field trip, I guess, maybe that's a United States thing. Like schools will take classes of kids to different locations. Like today they took the kids to like a working farm and they got to see like the animals. It was actually not just a working farm, but it's a working farm that mimics how it was in like the 1860s in the US. So they got to ride in a stagecoach and they got to ride on not ride on horses, but see horses, see goats, chickens, that kind of thing. But like sometimes they'll take the kids to there's a place called Science City here in Kansas City. They'll take the kids to that every year, it seems like. It may be more of an American thing, Network Bib. Okay, I need to write I need to implement this function right here, this convert filter to string function. This is what I want to try to tackle today. Which is going to be kind of interesting because it basically involves processing this data structure. And this data structure is basically this data structure is basically a tree. That's basically what it is. It's a tree. So let's go over here. I don't know why I keep opening that stupid sidebar. It's taking all my real estate. We need to import describe. Not from node test. We want vitest. Does anybody use the built-in testing from node? I don't know anyone who does. And does anyone use anything other than vitest nowadays to write tests in JavaScript or TypeScript land? Ducky Dev. Oh, at my school we called it an excursion. Okay, yeah. All right. Ducky Dev. Another coffee-powered day. Yes, indeed. Caffeinated. I am caffeinated. Let's see, Network Bib. School something. Probably sounds funny for you. Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce that last word. But yeah, that's what we call it in the United States. We call it a field trip. Well, why we call it that, I have no idea, because you're not really taking a trip to a field. What are you gonna do? What do you want from me? And then let's also import convert filter to string. Okay, so we're gonna say describe convert filter to string. And this can actually kind of be a little bit of a data-driven test. So I guess let's let's say test. Hold on, how did I do it in the other one? Yeah, I did test expect. Okay, so let's see, it should convert a filter that consists of a single rule to a string. Yep, that's what I want to do. Okay. And then what we should be able to do is we should be able to say const filter that. And this is going to be type rule. Yeah, field name can be status. Operator is going to be is it field op? No, it's like operate. Yeah, filter operators dot equal. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We can do lowercase. It shouldn't matter. Okay, and then we should be able to say results, and then we should be able to say expect result to equal this. What's up, Maddox? How you been, man? Long time no see. Ducky Dev used to be trips to fields, I guess. Yeah, I guess back in the day when there wasn't much more exciting thing to do than to leave the schoolhouse and go out into the field. Network bib. What is your dog's name? My dog's name is Opie. Yep. He's Opie. That's his name. Snowchild, hello. First time I've seen you in this chat, Snowchild, so thanks for stopping in. What is MCP? So MCP is called Model Context. MCP is called. I mean, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. And this is something that Anthropic published. It's a protocol that Anthropic published, I think it was like November. Yeah, November of last year. And basically it's this idea that you have a common way for connecting AI assistants to existing pieces of software, or existing systems, right? Maybe a better way is to say existing places where data is stored, right? So the idea is you can, if you have something like, let's say something like SQLite, right? You can write an MCP server for SQLite databases, and then somebody else, or even yourself, can develop an MCP client, and as long as that client is MCP compliant, it will be able to use the server that you wrote, right? So the idea, it's kind of a powerful idea when you start thinking of using LLMs to drive workflows and to be agentic, is instead of having everybody reinvent the wheel, so to speak, you can just have a common abstraction layer, right? If you want to think of it very similar to the language server protocol, right? It's very similar. Alex stands for Minecraft project. No, it does not stand for Minecraft project, but good one. Ducky, my room is like 20C while outside is 26C. I can't do the conversion in my head. So you're saying 20C to Fahrenheit? So 68. 68 is pretty comfortable. That's kind of where I keep it. Harsh, can we connect via email? Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can find my email if you do a little bit of digging on the interwebs. You can also find me my LinkedIn. If you go to the description of my channel, my LinkedIn's there. Happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. You can DM me there if you want. Haku on top. Can you type portable? I can type it, but I don't know why you want me to. Can you explain? Ducky Dev. Oh my gosh, kids are crazy. Dude, kids are crazy. Let me tell you. As a 32-year-old dad to two, you can't even comprehend it. Like, I bet every single one of you has had a parent tell you that you will not understand until you have your own kids, and they are 100% true. Haku on top. Laugh my ass off. Type portable monitor. Why do I need to type that? I don't understand. It's going way over my head. Haku on top. I don't get it. Harish, not selling anything, just looking for a SDE role. Sorry, Harsh. I don't have any. I'm not a hiring person. Like I'm an individual contributor where I work, so I don't have any say or influence over hiring. So yeah, but I'm happy to connect with you. You know, I mean, obviously, networking in any amount is a positive. So, but yeah, no assistance I can really offer there. Network bib type school region. I can't even say, what is that, Netherlands? Is that like a Netherlands word? Snowchild, what does your MCP server do? Okay, so almost, I don't know, Snowchild, how familiar you are with this world. If you type in MCP servers, there's a repo right now that's kind of doing a good job collecting all of the available servers. So most MCP servers, all they do is they are like an abstraction layer to some underlying existing API that talks to some system or the file system or a database, right? And so what my MCP server does is it talks to an API for a SaaS product, and the SaaS product is the product that my company makes. The product is called OnSpring. It's a very enterprisey GRC platform, so it wouldn't surprise me if you have no idea what the hell that is. But the reason I chose that API was because I know that API really well. I don't know the MCP stuff very well, so this way I can concentrate on doing the MCP implementation and not be so concerned with trying to learn, right, another thing at the same time as well. So yeah, but I can show you, it's like, as on a very high level, you can think of OnSpring as like a data store, right? So there's data there that people might want to reference when they're talking to Claude. So I can do something like this. I can say, can you tell me how many users are in my OnSpring instance? And because Claude has access to the MCP server I built, it'll say, hey, I can do that for you. Let me go ahead and check if I can connect to OnSpring, which is using my MCP server to do that. And then it's going to go ahead and use another tool to figure out what apps it has access to. And now it's going to basically get the records or get the actual data for that app. So it basically figured out, okay, it can access the user's app, what fields are involved, and now it can see that I have 41 total users. So that's what it does, Snowchild. Most of the MCPs do something like that. They retrieve data and inject it into the context window, you know, and then some of them they can actually like create data, right? Like you could have it insert data or create a new file, right? I haven't got that far with this MCP server, But it's been fun to work on. Hey, what's up, Butterscotch? How are you? Maddox. I like Maddox. Nice, Maddox. Yes, that is. Adults do not do that. Hello, Victor. How are you? Nice. Yep. Yes. Yeah, Snowchild, you really should. I think it would. I think you'd enjoy giving it a shot. Like I said, there's quite a few out there that people have built. Like I saw yesterday on LinkedIn. Where was it? I'm pretty sure I saw it yesterday on LinkedIn. They announced there's an Azure MCP now. Let me see. Azure. See if I can find the post. But it's just become very popular, right? So let me see if I can find. Huh. It's become very popular, and so I felt like, here's the blog post. Yeah, so you can see like the Azure MCP server is probably very powerful because I mean, look what all it can do. It can talk to all these different services. It can manage your blob containers. So yeah, you can really get as creative as you want, right? Because again, this is just another abstraction over the top of something else, some other interface that probably already exists. But this particular abstraction you're building is very much oriented towards an LLM using your thing. So yeah, I say go for it, man. Okay, let me close Claude and let me try to let me go back to the code. Network Bib, stop yelling at me. I swear. I don't want to have to fight a 14-year-old from the Netherlands. Yeah, so that just means school trip. Nice. Very cool. Thank you, Network Bib. Appreciate you. All right. Let's go back to the code here a little bit. All right. So this test should be failing. This seems very verbose. Has this always been so verbose? So expected this, but got this. Okay, so we need to start implementing the logic. So let's go to filter. All right, so probably the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have some sort of switch statement because we have types. So we're going to switch on that type. And then let's just go ahead and list all our types out first and just be exhaustive. So we'll say case rule. We'll throw not implemented, case and. We'll throw not implemented, case or, throw not implemented. And then this can just be, hey, there's an unknown filter type here. Yeah, in which case, but there's no type on the filter. So we'll just say unknown filter. Just throw like that. Okay, so we have an exhaustive check here. And let's see, our test should still be failing. Yep. Cool. And now we need to address this first case of rule. This is how I like to approach doing more complex stuff, is I like to write tests. I know not everybody feels that way, but network bib, but listen to the goddamn sound. No, network bib, I don't want to. Okay? Leave it be, bro. Has anyone ever told you that you have you get kind of fixated? Network bib, I'm crying myself to sleep right now because of your stupidity. Hey, network bib, get fucked. Okay? Get fucked, bro. Victor, bye, bro. See ya, network bib. Ducky Dev, I've never written tests in my life. Are you Ducky? Are you gaslighting me? Are you being dead serious? You don't write tests? How many people in the chat write tests? Be honest. It's okay. I won't judge you. If you don't write tests, it's totally fine. I know there's some people that think they're completely useless and not a good use of time. I 100% disagree with you, but all thoughts are welcomed. I can't pronounce this guy's username. Yabuser? Is that it? Ubuser? Maybe? I don't know. I'm just going to call him User. Life is messed up. Give some tips for start coding. Okay, User, listen really close. Here's my tip. You're going to need to find a computer. Are you listening? Hey, User, are you listening? Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to find a computer, and you're going to go to the browser, and you're going to type in freecodecamp.org. You're going to hit enter. You're then going to go to the menu. You're going to type on, you're going to click on curriculum. Click on the certified full stack developer, and do not stop until every single one of these is completed. That's my coding tip. To start learning how to code. No, I'm kind of just being a smartass. Free Codecamp is probably where I'd start you off to begin with. My other tip would be do a little bit every day, right? So don't just try to code on your weekends, right? Try to step out an hour of the day and get your fingers on the keyboard and write some code. It's definitely a skill that you gotta use it or you lose it. Ducky Dev, I'm being dead serious. Maddox, have a great day. I got things to take care of. See you, Maddox. Thanks for stopping by, man. It's been a minute. Good to see you again. Maddox, network bib deserves a ban or mute. I feel you, Maddox. Should we time him out? Why though? Network bib is good. I guess network bib, you just got a little too mouthy for the chat. Yeah. So Ducky Dev so Ducky Dev doesn't participate in tests. Pine Fruit, never written a test, never was taught to. Why would I? So Pine Fruit, here's an example of why I'd write a test. I need to implement I have this data structure here. That's basically a tree structure. So this structure can be it can be very complex. I'm just going to say. So to process this type of a structure, there's quite a few different structures or cases that you could be handed. And so to try to think of how to handle them all up front, all at once, can be a little overwhelming. So I feel like it sometimes helps to write out test cases where you say, for example, like in my filter spec here, where I just start with one case. I just say, hey, this filter, given this filter shape, my function should be able to handle it. And then quietly over time grow the complexity of the function I'm implementing. But because I've written tests along the way, I have feedback whenever I break something, right? Or I bust something in an effort to address a new use case. That for me is why. It just helps like me chunk the problem down instead of trying to do it all in one go. So that's, I mean, I think tests are more about psychological safety and confidence than anything else. They can definitely help you to work through a problem, but it's nice to just have a test suite that tells you when you fuck something up. Fikri, I think is how you say your name. Fikri, hello, what are you making right now? I'm working on something called a model context protocol server, which is just a fancy way to say I'm working on something that will make it easier for tools like Claude Desktop to talk to another third-party API. Pinefruit, do you keep tests in your code after you finish a feature? Most definitely I do, Pinefruit, because then those tests are a way to document the behavior of the program or the piece of software I've written. So if I want to go add a new feature, I'll know if in the course of adding that new feature I've broken an existing feature, because I've got automated tests that I can run on any change or any PR, basically whenever I want, to get feedback. So I think learning to write tests is valuable. I know not everybody agrees, but Ducky Dev, consistent video releases equals better algorithm rewards. Quality equals better algorithm rewards. Yeah, I'm not sure why there's been more viewers recently on streams, but we're glad to have you. If you're new here, we're glad to have you. See you, Network Bib. Have a good day. Yummers, what's up, Yummers? How are you? Ducky Dev, it's just going to snowball soon, and he's going to reach hundreds of thousands, if not millions. I doubt it, Ducky Dev. I doubt, like you watch, we'll hit 1,000 subscribers, and then I'll be stuck there for the next 10 years. It took me like 10 years to get 20 subscribers. Pinefruit, where can I learn to write tests? Same site to learn code. So Pinefruit, actually, Free Code Camp is not very good at teaching tests. I don't really think they cover it too much in their curriculum. I think they have one. When I went through, they had one section on it. But that's pretty common, Pinefruit. Not to throw shade at Free Code Camp, it's very common for, if you watch any tutorial online, everybody focuses on writing code. Very few people ever talk about like how would you actually test this application in a scalable and automated way. They may have a quality. So when I went through, they had this one right here. And in this curriculum, they teach you like how to use Mocha, how to use, I think you use Chai for assertions, and I think you use Chai HTTP. There's a Chai HTTP package that they use for integration testing. It's heavily focused on JavaScript. So I guess you could learn it through Free Code Camp a little bit. I would point you at Vitest. I would point you at their documentation. They have some guides and tutorials to get you started. I think this is the best testing library out there for the TypeScript and JavaScript world. But yeah, it's just kind of a thing not a lot of people teach, and you have to go out of your way to learn how to do it, and you also have to kind of go out of your way to learn how to write code that is testable, because that's a thing too, right? Like your code, you have to actually be able to test your code, or you have to actually be able to write your code in a way that you can test it. Yeah. Matthew Harris, MF, press some goddamn keys. Matthew Harris, click clack. Hey Matthew Harris, this is my stream. How about you go get fucked? Okay, Matthew Harris? You bring that energy in here, we're gonna slap the shit out of you. Get the fuck out of here. Pinefruit, he's drinking his drink and socializing. Yes, I'm running my mouth. It's my stream. I mean, if I wanted to be uber productive coding, I wouldn't try to code on stream. Pinefruit, I appreciate your wisdom, man. I subbed. Hey, I appreciate that, Pinefruit. That's very kind of you. Prozen, wild dev, not using GPTs, a rare sighting. I mean, I I use GPT, and I mean, I use Claude, and I use all, you know, I do, you know, and I've got Copilot wired up. You can see it at work. See, there's Copilot trying to help me write code. Sometimes I disable it because it's a little difficult. Sometimes it gets like super eager. Copilot's like, no, let me do it. No, let me write the code. And I'm like, Copilot, shut up. What's up, Stefan? How are you, man? Space Decoded. What's the server about? Space Decoded, it's basically, it allows me to talk to a third-party API. And that third-party API is for a SaaS product called OnSpring. You probably have never heard of it. It's made by the company I work for. It's for governance, risk, and compliance software. I know you probably fell asleep while I was saying that, but that's what it's for. Snowchild, it's hard to learn new stuff and hard to learn new stuff. It's hard to learn new stuff and hard to learn new stuff. Any advice? Snowchild, my only advice would be do a little bit every day. You don't have to boil the ocean, right? So pick something, spend a little bit of time on it, take a break, come back to it again. I mean, it takes time. There's no easy way around it. It's just reps. You need lots and lots of reps when you're trying to learn a new skill. Ducky Dev, if I wanted to be productive, I would have not watching the stream, but resting myself is good. Yeah. Pine Fruit, Claude 3.7 is where it's at. I like Claude 3.7. I liked Claude 3.5, so I'm kind of all about it. Maddox, what you drinking though? I will say your energy is a bit more slap happy today, and I'm here for it. Well, it's Maddox, I just don't like it when people show up in the chat and they try to run their mouth. You know, I also don't like that in the real world either. If somebody walked up to me right now and was like, "Hey, motherfucker, you need to type your keyboard more," I'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here." That's how I am in real life. So I just bring that same energy to stream. I'm drinking a protein shake. It's very good. It's made by Premier Protein. It's like a coffee flavored protein shake. It's very good. Yes, Stefan. It's good to have you here, Stefan. Thanks for coming to chill, man. We'll try to bring the vibes back down to the chill vibe levels. Atna, I always struggle with unit tests generated by any AI. Huh, that's interesting. I've actually had pretty good luck with it, as long as I've written some tests first, right? So like I don't want AI trying to write tests from a blank slate. But if I have a file where I already have several tests, it's pretty good at like dumping out more tests in my experience. The testers at work say Test Automation University is decent and free. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for that advice. That's actually what I do for a living, is I'm a quality engineer. So that's actually, I do manual and automated testing. So I am biased when I say there is value in tests, but I know not everybody agrees. Jeff Sad, ooh, my man, hi, hello. I also saw Tony said hi, hello. Pigeon's here, hello Pigeon, it's been a minute. Pigeon said, as I joined, first I heard was get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's not a very friendly way to greet chatters, is it? I'm sorry. Not gonna lie, if I met Steven in real life, he and I would be 100% be friends. Why? Because he's honest and speaks up about things like that. Yeah, I'm very honest. I always start things whenever we're in work meetings. People will ask me my opinions, and I always start by saying, well, if it was my company, here's what I would do. And then I always finish by saying, but it's not my company, so we can't do that. Stefan said, I just got some DY Nutrition pre-workout today. It's mojito flavored. Interesting. Pre-workout that's mojito flavored? That's totally like a sorority brother or fraternity brother pre-workout. Get the fuck out. Can you tell us more about this GRC software? I mean, you can Google it. Just Google OnSpring. You can also go to their website. And I should also say, guys, my streams and anything I do on streams has nothing to do with OnSpring, the company I work for. My opinions, my views do not represent my employers. This is a whole separate thing. I just happen to be using OnSpring's public API in this MPC server because it's an API I'm familiar with. So the GRC software is just a whole separate ball of wax, right? Pigeon, did you learn Go or drop it? No, I'm still trying to learn it, Pigeon. I just haven't worked on it as much recently, but I'm definitely interested in still learning with it. Maddox, all right, I'm really getting out of here. See you, Maddox. Have a good day, man. Stefan, we're polar opposites in that regard. I try to understand and be chill with anyone in real life. Everyone is the way they are for a reason. Yeah, I mean, I feel you, Stefan. It's just like, well, Stefan, I guess I should say, if you bring good vibes and chill energy to me, you know, that's what I'll bring to you. But if you do, but if you bring in, but I'm gonna match energy, right? If you're gonna run my mouth, then I'm probably gonna run my mouth back at you. All right, let's see if we can at least get this test to pass. We'll try to write some code here. Well, the simplest way to get this to pass is we just say, what do we say? We just say return. If we just do this, that will pass our test, right? Oh, I hear my kids. My family's getting ready to bust in the doors. There may be a lot of background noise. Just hang in there. Ducky Dev, I'm just a chill guy. Yeah. Just a chill guy. Okay, why? Hello. Good day. Stefan says I make people. I don't respond to the same energy. Instead, I guess I make people mad. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's probably a better way to be, huh? Jeff said, "You want more kids?" Oh no, dude. I've got 2. I have 2, and that is plenty. Yeah, that is plenty. I don't know why this isn't. Jeff laughs at that. Yeah, I mean it's funny, but it's also. I don't understand why this is. Oh, it's because of this. I'm using the wrong test. I want the test from Vitest, not from Known. There we go. Now they're all passing. However, this does not work if I do something that's more complex, right? So this is an example of this whole like test-driven development mindset, right? So now if I add another test and I say it should convert a filter that consists of and group to a string. And this is also where I can probably make this data driven. So I can just pass in test cases instead of having separate tests. But we'll refactor that. So if we say const filter and we do type and then let's just do one rule. So if we do this, this is gonna break now. Yep, so that one breaks. So the naive thing here would be is to just go over here and basically say, like the naive thing would be to do, okay, I'll just put the case of and here, like that. But that won't work because the shape is different. So let's undo that. So we have to handle this one special. So we say and we say return. So we could do this recursively, couldn't we? Yeah. So if that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Brown paper bag. Is it possible to integrate MCP? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you can integrate Claude Desktop or Cursor with any MCP server. TDD for those of us who are test obsessed. Yes, TDD all the way. If greater than 2, type OK. If greater than 10, well is good. Tell them I will. Yeah, they are. I mean, kids are fun, but they're also a lot of work. So 2 is plenty. Kyle, thanks for sharing the benefits of your wisdom. Functional over recursive is often a better approach. I agree, and I'm actually not going to write this recursively. But I see Copilot. That was Copilot's first instinct was like, we're going to do this recursive, and I'm not. I'm going to do. I've kind of been thinking about this problem a little bit since we started working on it a day or two ago, and I'm just going to use a depth first traversal. So I'm going to use a stack to keep track of how far down the tree I've gone. But I'm trying not to just have Copilot write it for me. I want to implement it myself. And I was trying to do it in a test-driven development type of way. I think brown paper bag is trolling me. What do you guys think? Jeff, is that the dog? Yes, it is my dog. Yeah, his name's Opie. He's a dachshund, a dapple colored dachshund. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good guy. Sometimes he doesn't listen to me, but he's pretty good otherwise. CJ Hernandez, you are back. Yes, you are back, and you are obnoxious. Okay, so I don't want to do this. And so this is where I need to start thinking a little bit more, I guess, holistic about what I'm doing here. Yeah. I need to, this is just very naive the way I'm going about doing this. So I think classically, Opie is a nice name for a dog. It is. It's actually, we got that name, funny enough, if you've ever heard of Sons of Anarchy, I was a big fan of that show. Like late high school, early college, that was when that show was running, and we were a big fan of it. And so that's one of our favorite characters on that show was named Opie. So that's why we named our dog Opie. Brown paper bag. I'm not trolling. Check out the Toto Neorest Dual Flush. I have one in the Master. Sorry, it's a silly question. Okay, I'm timing brown paper bag out. He should. You're washing it? Okay, I'll get him one. I'll be right back. I gotta go to help the kids with something. BRB. Oh, I forgot I was muted. My bad. Stefan, you just responded to brown paper bag right as I timed him out. Alright, so actually, okay, so let's do this. Let's try to do this a little bit more complete. So, since we're gonna do this, we're gonna traverse the tree. So we need to keep track of some sort of stack, because I'm gonna do depth. So I'm gonna go down the tree as far as I can first. So remember from data structures and algorithms, right? Difference between a stack and a queue, right? Stack is last in, first out, and a queue is first in, first out. And in JavaScript, it's just an array, and you're gonna pop instead of you're gonna pop, basically. You're gonna push and pop. Which I guess for a queue, what would it be? Right? A queue would be, a queue is like FIFO, right? Like an inventory. First in, first out. And a stack is last in, first out, yeah. Which in C# they have very nice handy classes you can use to do this, but in JavaScript and TypeScript we're just going to use an array. So we'll have a stack, and then we also need to build up our output. So we're going to have an array of strings. This is going to be like this. And then I don't know what this is going to be yet. This needs a type. What to push in. And then we're basically going to go over the stack. So while stack.length, Copilot's already, I bet Copilot could write this in one shot, but I'm not going to let it. I'm going to disable it because that doesn't seem fair. So yeah, so while the stack length is greater than 0, we want to continue processing. And then once we're done processing, we just want to return the output. So let me go down here and say return output dot join. Keto, is this Java? No, it's TypeScript actually, but it's interesting that to a passerby it looks like Java. Kiko. Okay, cool. Oh, Stefan answered Kiko. Thank you, Stefan, for answering. It's really nice of some of you guys in the chat who like will see questions or comments that I have yet to answer, and you guys will jump in. That's very kind of you. Kyle Brown. Honestly, C# is inferior for these sorts of web applications, but it's more complex than that, I think. I believe the two work best together, depending on the application, of course. Yeah, I honestly, man, I love me some C#. I really do. I really think it's a really fun language. And I think if you're a TypeScript dev, I think you would really like C# too. Like, to me, I learned C# first before I learned TypeScript, but I feel like you could also go the other way very easily too. Which I think makes sense because they both came from the mind of the same gentleman, basically. At least the type system did largely came from the mind of the same gentleman, Anders Halsberg. So I think it kind of makes sense. Ducky Dev, hey Steven, it's 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Should I like randomly go into the kitchen at like 4:30 a.m. and cook something? Well, if you go into the kitchen at 4:30 a.m., it's basically breakfast time, man. Hello, Suhas. How are you? Good to see you, man. Let me take splits Spitzel Spitzel Pit. Hello, Spitzel Pit. Yeah, I see you there, man. Kyle Brown. My first ever language was C++, then C, then Java. I didn't learn JavaScript until later in my college career. Oh, interesting. You started programming really early. Huh. I have not written any C++ or C or Java. I don't know if I'll ever actually take it upon myself to learn C++ or C, but I could definitely see myself learning Java at some point. Kyle, I haven't done TypeScript, only JavaScript. The difference is interesting. Yeah, JavaScript is great all by itself. Although, man, TypeScript makes the dev experience pretty freaking wonderful. in my opinion. I know not everyone will agree with that. Stefan, 60 boiled eggs? Holy moly. Stefan, you are definitely a gym bro. Boiled eggs, cottage cheese. What was the other foods the other day you were talking about eating? You basically named off like all the classic gym bro. Okay, so then here, instead of doing this, we need to say output.push like that. And then this is going to be a whole separate thing. Actually, these two are going to be the same thing, and and or. We're going to handle those the same way. Yeah. We're going to handle those the same way. Okay, so the way we're going to process this is we're going to say const current is going to equal stack.pop. Removes the last element from array. Yes, that's what we want. We want to take the last one. Because we're pushing, right? So we're pushing onto the array, and we're popping the bottom one off. Because we want to go last in, first out. And I completely screwed that up. And this type, what does this type need to be? I think this type needs to keep track of a couple things. It needs to keep track of the node we're on, or the node itself, I guess. It needs to keep track of what is its parent thing. Like, for example, if I'm just a rule and my parent is an and, we need to keep track of that. So I think this needs to be something like node, which is going to be filter. No, this is going to be a rule. No, a filter. And then we're also going to keep track of the parent type, which is going to be and or not. And then we're also going to have it visited to make sure we know this. Yeah, this should be like that. Oh, I need to export the filter, don't I? Oh no, I need to do that. See, I swear I know how to write TypeScript. I swear I do. Okay, so then we'll say current. We'll pop the current, and then at this point we'll say, hey, if the well, I guess the current actually could be not just an object. It could also be, I think, a string. Yeah, it could be a string too. Kyle, so can someone update me on what? Oh, thanks, Butterscotch. I didn't know that. GI in normal mode puts you where you last inserted any word. Nice. Okay, I'm still a Vim Motions newbie, so anybody can give me tips as they watch me work here. I will appreciate it. Kyle, Stefan says, all I know is that it's an MCP server. Yeah, so Kyle, to kind of give you a brief overview, we're building an MCP server, but we're building it for... it's going to talk to a particular API, and you can think of that API as basically talking to a data store. So like if you're familiar with Salesforce or things like that, it's basically a way for somebody to be chatting in something like Claude for desktop and then be able to grab data from this other system and inject it into the context window. So then you can talk to the LLM about your data that's stored in this other system. Kyle, thanks for... Yeah, 100%. Kyle, absolutely makes complete sense. I don't know how much sense it makes, but yeah, that's what we're building. That's what we're building. But what I'm doing right now is like I'm working through a very nitty-gritty part of this API that I have to talk to. So the API that I have to talk to in order to search... Oh, one sec, guys. My wife's calling me. All right, I'm back. Kyle, never been exposed to that before. This is interesting. Yeah, so the MCP is a very new thing. That's it only has been around since November of last year, so it's very new. And it's very trendy at the moment, it seems, which is the whole reason I started to kind of poke at it. Was I was like, hey, I should probably know something about it. But the specific thing I'm doing right now really has nothing to do with MCP at the moment. What it has to do with is the fact that this API that I'm talking to, whenever you want to search for records in this other system, you have to pass filters that look like this, right? And this is kind of messy to have the LLM generate something like this. So what I'm trying to do with my MCP server is I'm trying to provide the LLM with a structured way of describing this type of filter, and then my code is going to parse that structure into this string of text, which really has nothing to do with the model context protocol and just has more about to do with making this all play nicely so that I can have the LLM search for records properly. Kyle, how's the API? How does authentication work? Well, this is just going to be a local MCP server, so it's not. I'm not going to host it. People will just run this locally on their machine. So they'll just provide their API key through an environment variable. If you were going to have a remote MCP server, then you'd have to figure out the best way to do authentication. And yeah, you'd probably use some sort of OAuth flow, more than likely. Yes, exactly, Kyle. So that's exactly the idea here. Is like we're gonna have the LLM generate some sort of JSON object that represents a properly constructed filter, and then my code is gonna parse that JSON into the proper string. Stefan, honestly, Steven, you should really get these chat filters sorted out. Stefan, are you talking about like the content filters on the chat, on the YouTube chat? Because I haven't tinkered with my content filters in a while. I kind of slapped them together one day when somebody recommended I do it. All right, so where were we? We're trying to implement traversing this tree. Okay, so the first one is the rule. Okay, no. The other thing I'm going to do here is this can actually be we're going to make ourselves this type here. We're going to call this stack item. And this can be a string, and the reason why it can be a string is because I might just push a parentheses onto the stack. That's why it can possibly be a string. Or it can be this more complex thing here. Node filter parent type is going to be and then that should simplify this to just be, I can just say stack item like this. Yes. And then I can pop this off and I can say, hey, if the type of the current, so if this current thing is equal to string, then I want to just automatically push that onto my output like that, and I want to continue. And that's how I'll handle parentheses. Otherwise, if I get down here, then I need to go ahead and go ahead and process it. So let's move this logic up here. Yeah, so if it's we get here, we're gonna break. And I need to handle these cases. I'm actually gonna Okay, so let's do let's actually go back to my tests, and let's not worry about and quite yet. Let's worry about not. So let's say test. It should convert a filter that is a single not group. So then the only difference there would be the only difference there would be, hold on, sorry, I see the chat coming in. One sec. The only difference there would be the type would be not, and then the rules. Right? Let's see. 1 second. So not shouldn't be an array. This is improperly typed. This should just be a single. This should just be a filter like that. And this should just be a rule. Sorry, I had a mistake there. 1 sec. And this is going to be type. Like that. There we go. And so then this I would expect to be not. Both my tests are failing now. Farshid, why are not using enum? I kind of stay away from enums in TypeScript, Farshid. I'm not a big fan of them. Most of the time I just use a string literal or a union, like I'm doing right now. I kind of find the TypeScript enums to be a little cringe, I guess. Which there's actually some really good blog posts by other people that have talked about how, like, TypeScript, if you could go back, you probably wouldn't put enums in TypeScript. Why not use Matt Pocock? This was the article that kind of convinced me. I kind of like anything TypeScript related. I kind of defer to Matt's opinion. He's way more in the trenches on that stuff. So now I usually use constants or string literals and union types most of the time. But I know everyone's different. Everyone has different opinions. Victor, yo, I need your help. What's up, Victor? Hold on, let me see if I can. Kyle, I wish I could help more with TypeScript. Oh, no worries, man. You don't have to help. You can just hang out, enjoy the vibes. Yes, like anytime you try to send something more complex, it doesn't show. Okay, Stefan, I can take a look at those filters, and see if there's anything I can do. I mean, I could always just go back to just removing them altogether. The trolls have seemed to have left us alone, so maybe I don't need them as much. Good night, Ducky. If you're still here, Ducky, I didn't see your chat till just now. Sleep good, man. Ducky. Username.
My username in like every Apple game is Ducky or Ducky Boy.
Nice. Oh, Stefan. It sounds like Stefan, you're already helping Victor out, so that's good. All right. I would really like to try to get both these tests passing, and that might be where I call it today. I'm not sure I'm going to get around to doing the and or cases. So basically, I'm going to do output.push, and it's basically going to be the same thing that's above, but with not prepended to it. So I should probably factor this out. Should probably factor this out to a helper method, shouldn't I? Oh, no, wait. What I should do is I should use my stack. That's what I should do. So what I should do is I should say break. And what I should do is I should say if current dot visited equals false, right? No. I actually can just do this. If that's true, so either meaning it's not there or it's false, then I'm gonna do something here. So this is where I can use my stack, and so what I can say is I can say stack.push, and I guess I should probably put parentheses around it, shouldn't I? So what I could do is I could say stack.push, and then stack.push. The node is going to be the current node. I think is what I want. Yeah. Or current node dot type. Is that what I want to do? I think I want to do something like this. But it can't be undefined. Why does it think it's undefined, though? I guess I could do if current when does pop return undefined? If the array is empty, undefined is returned, and the array is not modified. Okay, so then if this is undefined, we should be breaking out of this loop. But it really shouldn't ever be undefined then, because I'm checking up here. But I'll just add it so that it will stop yelling at me. Which means here, I don't need to do that. Why is this complaining? It's not assignable to parameter of type stack item. Oh, because I need to add those other properties. But I'm not sure when else I would. I'm not sure I need all those other properties. Stefan, go through the message. I feel like Victor would like to know your thoughts. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna put the code on hold and let me go through these. So, what was Victor's Victor, what was your original question that you were looking for help with, Victor? Oh, 7. I want to start doing stuff. I know I need to, and I just want to because I like that stuff, but I just don't feel like it. Even if I sit down, I can't focus, and I have ADHD to make it worse. Ah, Victor, that's tough, man. I don't struggle with ADHD, so it's hard for me to yeah, so Victor, it's hard for me to. I don't want to minimize what you're dealing with, the struggle you might be going through. So I'm sorry that's a struggle for you. I think I saw Stefan somewhere up there talk about minimizing distractions. That's very helpful for me. The least things going on, the better. What else? What else? So having a to-do list is helpful for me, like being able to concretely define what it is I want to accomplish and chunking that down into the smallest possible task possible to kind of prevent myself from feeling like overwhelmed, which is the whole point right now of me trying to figure out this algorithm. Is the reason why I'm trying to just focus on a couple test cases and get it working for those test cases and not get overwhelmed by the larger thing I need to build or write or implement. Excuse me. I feel like the same thing can be very helpful in life when you know there's a lot of things you want to get to and you're not sure how to get to them all. A to-do list I feel like is very helpful. What's up, Tax? It's been a minute since I seen you. Hey, buddy, quick question. I've been in a little bit of a funk lately. I feel myself losing motivation for the gym. Any advice? Dude, arm day. Just go into the gym one day and just have a total bro session. Yeah, that's what I do. Try to find some way to make the gym fun again. Working out and lifting weights, it's a marathon, right? You got a long life. You got lots and lots of sets and reps in you. So my advice would be to find something fun. Find something that you really, really enjoy, and just do that for a while in the gym. Don't worry about doing all the things you should do, because you've probably been doing all the things you should do for a while now. Try something new. Try something you enjoy. For me, that's an arm day. If I need to lift, but the weights aren't quite speaking to me, I just go into the gym. I do lots of curls and lots of tricep extensions because those are fun. They're much more fun than trying to pick the bar up off the floor and do deadlifts or back squat. But I feel you, man. Everybody gets in those funks. It's totally normal. Butterscotch, it's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Butterscotch, you are right. I mean, you're right. You got to make the choice. But there's definitely a little bit of hackery you can do, and that's why I say it's a marathon. If you're committed to lifting weights and moving your body, you're going to be doing it for a long time, right? Like I'm 32 now. Hopefully, I live to be 70 plus. I've got 30 more years, so you should try to make it also fun and enjoyable when you can. Victor, thank you guys. I gotta go now. Of course, Victor. I hope that was helpful, man. Thanks for hanging out in the stream, man. Appreciate you. See you later. Thank you. Just got to get out of this funk. Yeah. Stefan's helping everybody today. I appreciate you, Stefan, for being super kind and helpful to other people in the chat. That's the Serbian in you, isn't it? So I'm thinking about this. I don't think I need all this. I don't think I need that. I think I just need filter or string is I think what I need. So if current dot, why is it only type? Because it can't. So should I be using if statements here? So if I did if filter dot type equals not, then would it know? Oh, I know. I'm an idiot. This should be current dot type is what that should be. Which would be current, and current. That's what I was missing. Yeah, I think that's what I was missing there that whole time. I also need to initialize the stack to filter. That's the other thing I was missing. I think that's why my test was failing initially. And this should be rule. Not assignable. Oh yeah, because this shouldn't be an array. There we go. Because it really doesn't make sense for nots to have multiple. Nots should just be a negation of a single condition. In my opinion. Alright, did that make my test pass? It made one of them pass. Received not. So why did it receive not? Luca, what theme is that? I'm pretty sure it's One Dark Pro. That's the theme I'm using in NeoVim. Jeff said, ever hacked a site before for fun? I realize most programming is algebra. I've never hacked a site. But honestly, Jeff said, most programming is in algebra. Butterscotch, use period to repeat last motion in normal mode. Oh, really? Hold on, let me see. So you said if I go... So let's say if I type I here, and I go to the top, if I type GI... that doesn't seem to work. Leader GI? Huh. GI doesn't seem to take me to the last place I did an insertion. And then what did you said period to repeat last motion? So if I do down period... Huh. My key maps must be different than you, Butterscotch. Stefan, seems like you got more Balkans coming into here. Oh, really? It works. Seems like you have some other bind. Yeah, I must have some other key binds that are overriding it. Yeah, because I would think if I do insert here and then I jump to the top of the file and then do GI, but I'm guessing that I must have that map to like go to something. I must have that map to some code action. So is Luca from the Balkans, Stefan? Is that how you know? Because you guys are talking in Cyrillic there, or some sort of language I don't understand. That's pretty cool. I just realized I've got at least one bug in my I've got at least one bug here in my program, which is here. This should be not, I think. I don't even think I don't even need the parens. So what does that give me? Not. Okay, why is it giving me not? Because I'm pushing current.type, not current.rule is what I want to push. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so for my first two tests passed, so I'm getting there. Now I need to take care of and or, which are a little bit more complex, because I actually need to loop over the rules. Oh, it sounds like my wife's back with dinner. All right, guys. I think that's that might be as far as I get today. Butterscotch, you override default keybinds in NeoVim? I must have. Let me look, Butterscotch, real quick. We can look at my config. One sec. Let's look at it. Hold on, let me add this. Let me git add, git commit, begin work on traversing filter. Okay, so let's edit invim config. I have some LSP keybinds that I think might be overriding that GI motion. Yeah, the thousand stream special. Well, I was gonna look really quick though to see what. I think I have that mapped as something like maybe I think GI is go to implementation. I think is what that's mapped to. And because I didn't know that GI was an important motion, Butterscotch, now I understand why I shouldn't have mapped it to that.
You want this apple juice?
Yeah, there it is right here. Yeah, I have it mapped in here. It goes to the implementation. That's what it does. So I probably should reconsider this key mapping. So maybe I could do leader GIM. Or maybe I should map this to like a leader like that. Okay, so then if I type I here, I escape that, I go up to the top and I do GI. Huh. Did I not write that out? Oops. See, Butterscotch, you got me all distracted now. Oh, that's because I also have it down here. Timothy, hey Tim, how are you, man? It's been a minute. Leader GR, I have mine set. Okay, leader, yeah, that's what I changed mine to, is leader GI. Yeah, Tim came right at the end. Yeah, my wife just got home with dinner, so I'm gonna hop off and eat some food. But I've got a minute to chat. Let's see. What's up, brother? How are you? How's the wife? Yeah? So she got released. She got released, so her toes all better. So that's good. I mean, they're mostly better, right? Like, so she can do her normal activities as long as it doesn't cause her pain. So that's good. Yeah, everything else is good, Tim. Yeah, life's good, man. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute since I've seen you in a stream, so appreciate you stopping by. Butterscotch, configuring NeoVim never ends. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm picking up on. I've only been using it for 2 or 3 months, but that's kind of what I'm picking up on. Alright, so let's try this again. So if I insert there, I jump up to the top. Ooh, that's nice. That's very nice, Butterscotch. I should have not had that overwritten. So then if I go to the top, I can do leader GI, and I've got my go to implementation code action. Okay, Butterscotch. This stream was totally worth it for that little bit of advice, man. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Stefan, wow, you have 47 plugins. Is that a lot? Maybe I need to go through and curtail some of them. Sabine Rashid, who are you? I'm just a guy in Kansas streaming on the internet about whatever the latest coding programming project I'm working on. That's who I am. Nobody special. Tim, that's good to hear, man. It's been a minute. I've been completely swamped with exams and studies, but I'm really glad to see you're doing well. Well, that's super nice of you, Tim. Yeah, man, we're doing good. Everyone's healthy. I don't envy you being swapped with exams and studies, but I hope they're going well, dude. I hope law school is treating you well. Sabine, I love coding. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, me too, man. It's definitely like coding and programming is like one of my favorite hobbies. It's just a blast. The whole the problem solving, troubleshooting, all of it. There's nothing better than having a really tough problem and being able to figure it out. That's actually what I'm really looking forward to right now. This is a really fun problem to work on that I'm sure Copilot or ChatGPT could solve in like 5 minutes. But for me, part of the fun is figuring it out myself. So, yeah. Sabine, you're a nice guy. Oh, I try to be. I do try to be. I have my moments, but for the most part, I try to be. Tim says, hey, W Butterscotch. Yes, W Butterscotch indeed. Learn something every day. I do try to put out positive vibes. All right, guys. The smell of the Chick-fil-A that's waiting for me is pulling me away from writing code. So I'm gonna pop off here and have a good Friday evening. And I hope you guys have the same. So if it's Friday for you, hope you have a good Friday. If it's Saturday for you, hope you have a good rest of your Saturday. I'll probably be back tomorrow is when I'll probably stream again. So if you're around, you see me live, drop in, say hi. Otherwise, I'll see you in a video or a short or something like that. Sabine, I do know Python. I don't write a ton of Python. It's not my favorite language. I do know it, but it's not what I would gravitate towards. All right. Yep. I'll see you guys. See you, Sabine. See you, Stefan. See you, Tim. Butterscotch, I'll see you later. Yeah, you can't afford to take away the learnings by using AI for productivity. 100%, man. You want all the reps you can get. Masinga. See you, Masinga. Thanks for hanging out, man. Who else was here? Tim, Butterscotch. Yeah. Bye, all you guys. Wolf. Bye. I'll see you guys. All right. Bye.